What's up, fellas? Post 2024 election. I don't care who you voted for or whatever, but I see bright things in our future for America. I'm all in it. USA on three. 1, 2, 3. USA! So, hey, thanks for joining us here at 208. If you are interested, man, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. And I was told today, Justin told me off screen that if you hit that like button, it's 5 years of good luck in fantasy football. So make sure you hit that like button. So super, super important. Quite a bit to talk about today. We're going to go over our starts and sits, little trade action, and a little bit of news. Well, let's get fired up. Chance, it is good to have you back, taking the night off last night. So glad to have you back, my friend.
Guys, thank you. You know, the political science nerd in me who holds a public office, I did enjoy my election day thoroughly. Yeah. If you'd seen my setup, you'd have thought I was watching football on Sunday, multiple screens, everything.
It's got that red zone, man.
I got that.
Yes.
Got that
political red zone.
Election red zone. It was awesome. Yeah, election red states is what it was more like. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Absolutely.
Okay, so a few things news-wise that are important for your fantasy teams. Jonathan Brooks is going to be activated to the 53-man roster. They haven't committed to playing him this weekend yet, but just know if you have Jonathan Brooks on your roster, if you've been sitting on him all year, you are going to need to clear a roster spot for him to get him out of IR and up into your active roster. A few other things. T. Higgins, he's doubtful to play tomorrow against the Ravens. So, I think that if you are in need of a tight end play, I think Mike Gesicki could be a pretty good play.
We're going to change this to the Gesicki show.
Knowing that we just said that, Burton's going to go off now.
Yeah. Oh, you kidding? Khalil Herbert's going to go off, just dump off machine.
Let's go. Release him.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about that trade yesterday?
We did. And how he's excited to get out of the Bears. He was ready.
Yeah. I'm curious to get your thoughts on that a little later in the show because,
got it.
Chase Brown versus Khalil Herbert and what that looks like rest of season, I think is an interesting conversation. Nico Collins, he is still TBD as to whether or not he's going to play week 10, but he has passed all of his tests on his hamstring. So he is currently passing all of his hamstring tests. I've heard those are hard tests to take. My hammies probably couldn't handle those at this age, but his have. And then also just something to keep an eye on. I don't know if it's super serious, but Baker Mayfield popped up on the injury report. He's dealing with a toe issue, and he did not practice today because of a toe issue. So he's a dog, and I think he's going to play. But that rushing upside is big for him in his fantasy production. And, I love Baker Mayfield. I'm so bummed that they've lost 4 of their last 5 games in, close games. You know what I mean? And it feels like he lost double the game where he lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the same game.
Late too. That was a tough part.
He's a baller, man.
He's been playing very, very well.
Yeah, that's all I got news-wise. Did you guys cover? So Chris Olave is visiting specialists. No decision has been made whether he'll be placed on IR yet. So his very soft head is still much in question. We talk about Tua all the time, but this is Olave's 5th concussion. I mean, he's right there. He's right there with Tua in that conversation of hey, how smart is it to return to play?
Yeah, and it's scary too. I think the NFL is doing it right, making sure player safety is super important. At least he's not running out there. They've done a very good job with him and pulling him off. So we wish him all the best. We hope we get him back, but we want him to make the right decisions for him. So
I think it makes sense.
I do have
to shut him down, but that's just me. I mean, they're 2-7.
Yeah.
I think they should shut him down.
I do have a question, and this is a big one for both of you. Just it's in the news, and it's Christian McCaffrey, right? Coming back from that Achilles. What are we doing with him? Do we see him this week? Do we not see him this week? Love to get your guys' take on that. Justin, I'll start with you.
I don't know. Like Kyle Shanahan had his like conference or whatever it was, and like I don't know, he's just being kind of weird about injuries. Like when do we know about Christian McCaffrey's like kickoff? And it's like you just can't like we're super late into the season where games mean a lot. Like I probably would not start him if I had him on my roster. That scares me to death. Why? And they don't need to start him. That's the thing. Like their division is still up in the air. They still have some good running backs. Why force the issue super fast? Like they're going against Tampa, who has a decent defense. But again, I just don't. It doesn't make sense for them to go for broke in the regular season when they've had such success in the postseason. Like that's their best.
Yeah, sure, Chance.
I just miss Christian McCaffrey football. I miss how good he is. And watching Saquon just absolutely blow up this last week and just be next level human. Like I missed watching CMC do that to teams. And so I guess it's probably smart. If you have, I have him in a league that I had to elevate him. I'm 2-7 in that league. I'm playing Christian McCaffrey because the upside of what he could be is like, I got to risk it for the biscuit in that case. But if you have a really good record and you're bringing him off of IR and you got lucky and made good moves in the season and could have afforded to bench him, I would continue to keep him on your bench through this week. And we do expect that Bucks game to be competitive because it's two good offenses. So there should be ample opportunity for Christian McCaffrey to produce. We just don't know what his load management is going to look like.
It's nice that it's an early game as well. I think that'll help a little bit more because it's in Tampa. So I mean, you should get some pretty fast feedback as it is an early game. So you're not waiting for those afternoon games and such.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jordan Mason's day to day, and you got Garendo in there. So who knows? Can they get split carries with him with Garendo? I don't know if Mason will play very much, but should be interesting. We will watch it. And Chance, I wasn't sure if you talked about. It looked like AJ Brown is back to practice. Looked like he'll play this week. And you talked a little bit about Nico already. Did you bring that up?
I hit Nico.
I was multitasking, so I apologize.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of our news. Let's get right into it, man. It's kind of the meat and potatoes. We're gonna have a little bit of fun, but let's get into it to the bench and we're starting. So Justin, give me two guys that one start, one bench this week. Again, let me preface that a little bit. You're starting your studs. You put your studs in there. We don't need to talk about those guys, right? We're too late in the season to even discuss those guys. Put your studs in. You're playing them. But Justin, who one guy you're starting, one guy you're sitting.
Can you get the my bad transition up real quick?
Yeah, do it right now.
K. Dotton is good at football. He's just good at football. So it's funny. We were talking. We always have lunch together, the football coaches, and like they always like. I just don't get the NFL. Like they don't. It feels like they don't scheme well. Like they were given Hopkins 2-way goes, Kelsey 2-way goes, a bunch at the goal line, which seems weird. Like either make them throw over the top of you, like do something. The Buccaneers have nothing on offense. Like they don't have anything. They have a bunch of rookies, a bunch of random. Sterling Shepard is a dude on that team, and Sterling Shepard was out of the league for a year. Like, and he's playing in a big role in that offense. And like, I feel like as a defensive coordinator, and nothing on Spags because he's probably one of the best D coordinators. Like they have one guy, just double him. Nick Bolton looked really bad. Like he looked really slow, but I just wanted to get that out there. Like I tried to shoot my shot and I was wrong, and it is what it is. But anyways, so the first guy to start that I'm going to go with my start of the week is Mark Andrews. Again, this is mostly because of what Chance is saying. Isaiah likely being out, I think they're going to lean on Mark Andrews being there. He's been in the offense the longest. They have Deontay Johnson now. They have Zay Flowers, who had a really good game last week. I think maybe the defenses will start to key on those two on the outside. The Bengals defense is atrocious. I think that's why they went out and got Khalil Herbert instead of addressing the defense. I think they're just like, well, we're just going to punt on defense. We're just going to try to outscore people. Hopefully, this is a shootout. And Matt has alluded to this a few times. The Ravens are a pass funnel. Like, that's all teams can do on them because they usually get behind. I think this game's going to be a shootout. Thursday night game, really wonky. I hope it's real similar to that Bucks-Falcons game a couple of weeks ago where it's just like 70 points are scored. And I'm really counting on Mark Andrews this week. Do you guys have anything?
We're going to make Thursday. I hope they make Thursday night great again.
Yeah.
It was not great.
And then
it was something. It was something, Matt.
Oh gosh. So with my sit, we already talked about it a little bit. I just don't like guys coming off injuries and starting them right away. I will bite the bullet every single time on this, especially soft tissue stuff, especially tendon stuff. I'm sitting CMC. Like if I had him, I'd sit him. Chances in a different spot. Like I get it. If you're 2-7, you're 3-6, whatever it is, you got to be a little bit desperate. Like, but if your team is 500, whatever it is, you're in a game where you must win, whatever it is. I just don't feel super comfortable starting him. I feel like Shanahan feels like they can beat the Bucks in a game. I know it's in Tampa. I just feel like this is a winnable game. That division's super wonky. The Bucks have a decent run defense. They haven't lost a ton on defense. They have Levante David, Vita Vea. They have some dudes on defense that are still guys. I think this game will be a little bit more low scoring. I don't think they're going to rush him back. If they rush him back, I think it's maybe 8 to 12 touches, and then try to just slowly work him in.
Any rebuttal to that, Chance?
No, I mean, like, I think, again, we've talked about that. Christian McCaffrey, it just depends on how your team's doing. You know, like, it really depends on how you're doing. I need the upside play. I got to catch a win. And you know what? If I don't catch a win because he isn't that, well, then I'm probably done. But at 2-7, my chances of being done are high anyways. Yeah. You know, so at some point you got to go try it out. And I think there is wisdom in sitting him if you have that luxury, you know. Yep. And I think that one of the things that I always have to consider when I do something like that is, do I have a guy that I trust his floor? And you can I look at start sits all the time, every week, and I'm like, am I really debating whether or not to start this stud in a bad matchup over a guy who's not a stud but has a better matchup? And I think he has a higher floor, you know? And so I think you have to look at your roster and say to yourself, there's a chance Christian McCaffrey scores 5 fantasy points. You know, there's a chance he scores 20, but they feel like equal chances. You know what I mean? Yep. They feel like they could be one or the other. Where there's other guys out there that you should have on your team that you're like, receptions and attempts and goal line work or whatever, he feels like a safe 10-point floor. I'll start a 10-point floor any week. That feels good to me, especially this point of the season where I'm just trying to catch a dub.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to your guys' chance. Who are you sitting this week? Who's your sit of the week?
Ooh, my sit of the week is actually been a really hot wide receiver recently. It's Josh Downs. My sit of the week is Josh Downs for this week. And I understand the reason why Josh Downs is the guy that you can say is a sit is because Josh Downs is one of those players that if you have him on your team, he's probably not your number 1 or your number 2 wide receiver, but he's been a great surprise for you. They play the Bills this week, and I know that they have Joe Flacco. He's starting, and Joe Flacco has done a pretty good job. But last week, in a tough matchup against Minnesota, right, Josh Downs only had 50% of snaps. He had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 60 yards. Okay. And he is, I think he's dealing with, is he dealing with an injury? I'm looking here and it says he's questionable, but I don't know if I'm missing something looking at his stuff. Can you guys vet that at all? I gotcha. You check that. Here's my thing. Josh Downs is a great smaller slot player, right? He's not he can stretch the field. We've seen him have awesome catches deep down the field stuff. But against Buffalo, Tyreek Hill had 97 yards on 5 targets. He caught 4 of those. Like, we would both agree that Tyreek Hill is greater sign Josh Downs. And Buffalo, they do a really good job of just slowing the clock down, taking time, and really controlling and managing the game. Tyreek Hill, if they were able to shut him down with, to me, a much better quarterback in Tua than what Joe Flacco is, I would speak caution to Josh Downs. I think that there's a chance that Joe Flacco, because he can spread it around, has that opportunity to really hit Pittman, hit Alec Pierce, do some damage with Jonathan Taylor. I just see a down week for Josh Downs week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Down on Downs. Got it.
He's not on the injury report right now as anything. It's just Michael Pittman right now is only a wide receiver. So he's not on there.
That was weird. Like I said, when I pulled him up on Sleeper to look at his week and stuff, it said questionable next to him, and
he did leave for a couple plays in week 9, but came back in.
Okay. So I'm excited about my start of the week because just like Josh Downs is a guy you picked up mid-season, and he's probably done really well for you. This next guy also waiver wire warrior. Okay. I'm going to list some numbers for you. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
And I got 9 numbers for you. 22, 20, 13, 18, 23, 20, 15, 26, 18, 9, and 28.
Is that his points?
Those are running back points scored against the Panthers.
Oh, shoot.
By RB1s. Yeah,
Yikes.
that is yeah. The worst of that was Javonte Williams. Brian Robinson had 13 points, but only on 34% of attempts.
I love this pick, baby.
So if you look at who can absolutely, like the position that absolutely tears up the Carolina Panthers, it's the running back position. Now let's talk about New York Giants RB1, Tyrone Tracy, baby. Tyrone Tracy, I mean, I think he has really come out. He showed out. I think all of us have been pretty impressed. I'm excited because he was a rookie that I was really excited about. I got him in the 4th round of our dynasty draft and was stoked to sit on him, and to see him be the most productive rookie running back so far this season. I love taking a good victory lap. But last week against Washington, 72% of snaps, 16 carries. We all remember against Pittsburgh when he had 20 attempts, right, for 145 yards. He's really transitioned into their lead back. And one thing I love about him, speaking about Javonte Williams, he is 4 months older than Javonte, right? He's an old running back.
Weird.
4 months older than Javonte, and he has more 100-yard games than Javonte already this season, right? Like, and again, I'm comparing him to Javonte Williams, who's not like a stellar running back, but I think it just speaks to the fact that Tyrone Tracy is already blowing up. He has a great matchup. He has played running back 1 season in college, and then this year. He has only played this position for not even 2 full football seasons. That's crazy to me. He was a wide receiver before that. So I think he's a great fire him up. He's a waiver wire warrior that if I had CMC or Tyrone Tracy, I would sit CMC for Tyrone Tracy all day. I just think that that's a much better matchup against the Panthers and with his skill set. He might come up later as well. Just because he has a really easy schedule going forward. So if we're talking trade targets, he might show back up. I'm just saying.
Love it. My 2 guys are I think you guys will agree on these 2. So my first one, I think is pretty obvious, but it's the sit of the week. He's a running back.
It's the sit of the week.
Sit of the week for me.
Oh,
Sorry, not for everybody, but sit of the week. He came off a really good game last week. I think he had, I'll tell you, 28 carries for 128 yards, 3 receptions for 26 yards against New England, and that was Tony Pollard. He did really, really well. This week he is going up against the LA Chargers, who are a pretty good darn run defense. So players that they've held in check, I had it pulled up here, have not very many points, include Najee Harris, Chuba Hubbard, Kareem Hunt, Javonte Williams, and Nick Chubb, all under 14 points per game in PPR. So I'm not starting Tony Pollard this week. Their defense is too good. If you have to, you have to, but don't expect much out of him. He is a guy low on my radar. My start of the week is Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay.
So he did not do very well last week. He only had 4 targets and he only scored like 6 points or something like that. So although they're playing the Vikings, so you're like, really, you're going to start again against the Vikings? The Vikings' overall defense is mid-pack. Against the run, they're elite. I think they're like a top 10, top 7, top 8, something like that. But against the pass, they are dead last. They're dead last against the pass. So I'm putting in Brian Thomas Jr. as a big bounce back this week. Get him in your lineup and get him started. So so Justin Pollard was limited too, you saw? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's probably the 28 carries. He's still beat up.
Yeah, both those running backs were limited. Him and Tajay were both limited today. So it's just something to keep an eye on. Like, just see how they progress throughout the week. That's usually what I did. I had to pivot to Eckler this week because I was just watching Brian Robinson's injury report. And then he got ruled out, and I was like, sweet, let's go. Fire him up. So,
yep, there you go. I do like all of our starts and sits this week. I think we would crush it doing these 6 players. I think we'd be 100%. We'll double check that next week, but I'm all in for sure. Otten was a tough one. I started Otten everywhere.
I was trying to shoot my shot, man. It didn't work, man.
I know. I do want to jump into this segment. We don't normally do, but but we need to start talking some trades. There are plenty of trades.
Trade deadline.
So let me. We are in that trade deadline. Justin just said it. Justin has got some trades for us just to review, to kind of go over our thoughts. If you've got trades that you want to talk about, let us know in the chat. We will certainly discuss them. And then we have some guys that who should we be trading for? One for trade for, one trade away. We'll get to that in a minute. But Justin, what do you got for us as far as some trade reviews?
So this was something I offered in one of my leagues, and I just want to see if it's bad or not because it got declined. I know Chance is already like, yeah, this is gonna be bad because Chance thinks I'm a trade merchant.
You are the sneakiest trader of all time, man. And I have fallen prey to you. I have fallen prey to you many times before. To be fair, I like the process of your trades. Okay, they sometimes haven't bounced in my favor.
Yeah, that's true. So I offered Mark Andrews, Joe Burrow, Garrett Wilson, and Jordan Mason. Okay, for Nico, Trey McBride, Drake May, and Jonathan Brooks. It's a lot.
I think it feels like a fair trade to me. I mean, like, it feels like a fair trade. You know, you have some players that could be spot starts that could help you out. I think that acquiring Drake May is, I think he could definitely score you some points if you need it.
He's sneaky good. I'm a big believer in Drake May right now. I think he's a dude. I just think the Patriots have a terrible offense.
Yeah.
They're really rough to watch.
Yeah. The only bummer about the Drake May thing is that moving forward, the New England wide receivers have the second hardest wide receiver schedule through the end of the year. So that's fantasy points adjusted for the position. So they have a pretty tough schedule moving forward, but Drake May is still going to sling the ball, still going to sling the ball.
Yeah. I concur with Chance for sure. I think it's very fair.
I think it's a fair trade. I think you're giving up Jordan Mason, who's kind of hurt, and the backup to McCaffrey. He could still be something. You're getting Jonathan Brooks, who we don't know if he's going to supplant Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, I mean, you have a couple I don't knows. Who was the first couple in your trade? Who did it start with? Mark Andrews, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and I don't think I could trade. I don't think I could trade Joe Burrow now. He's going off. He looks nasty.
He looks good, man.
He looks really, really good.
He looks real good. I like that you're trying to go get Nico Collins, though.
I love Nico. I love me some Nico. He's that guy. Okay, so there is a couple players that I just put in this database, just kind of interested because I feel like people are going to either want to trade for him or not. So the first guy I thought of was CeeDee Lamb. What is the impact of Cooper Rush? I personally don't think it's a huge indent on his value, but I'm just curious to see what you guys think. So the first one that I saw that kind of piqued my interest a little bit was CD and Pacheco for Tyreek and Achane.
I would rather have the and you're trading for Tyreek and Achane.
Yep, you're getting both of them.
It's always hard to trade for two players on the same team. I always struggle with that, even though they're both fantasy studs. You know,
what's Miami's record?
They're 4-5, but I don't know, something like that. That's my guess.
So, I only ask because if they are, I have to look it up.
I land on the side of the Tyreek Achane. Like, that's the side of the trade that I would want, because Isaiah Pacheco, to me, like, you just don't know,
they're
right?
2-6,
and you've got to go.
The
out
Miami
there.
Dolphins are 2-6.
That can't be right, right? Yeah, they're 2-6.
Jeez.
Wow. I do forget that the AFC East outside of Buffalo is
bad.
hot garbage.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it's wild.
Gosh, with that being said,
I
almost want to go the other way.
Here's my thing: is if you get Pacheco, I even teams that are absolutely balling out right now, you still have to win some games. There's still enough games between now and the playoffs. Like, if you're sitting real pretty and you're 6-3, how many? Right? You're 6-3, and we have realistically 5 weeks left. I think 5 weeks is all we have left of like actual fantasy games before you get into the playoffs, depending on your stuff. If you have 5 weeks, you still have to win some of those, because if you lose the rest of them, you can finish with. There are plenty of teams I've had where I start really hot and I feel really good, and then I take my foot off the gas. I don't keep improving, and then you go on a 4-game losing streak, and you go from the top of your fantasy league to now I'm fighting for a playoff position. You know, it's happened 100 times to people. So
yeah.
That to me is why I want scorers. I want scorers. I don't want potential.
Yep. I'm right there with you.
I'd probably lean with Chance Sam. My only concern is at some point when you get down the road, do they start shutting it down a little bit? Does Miami going, you know what? It's unlikely, but do they start spreading it out? It's like, okay, I don't want to get Achane hurt. I don't want to, can we have a little more longevity with Hill? I don't think so. I think that's not the way they play, but I think I'd go with that route. Before you go on, Justin Marcus has got a question here. Do I trade CMC for Kamara? That's a loaded question, Marcus.
This one's easy for me.
Yeah, I kind of want to know what your record is a little bit, but I'm curious. But Justin, go ahead and answer.
I'm taking Kamara. Give me Kamara all day. He's on a crap offense that's going to get so much garbage time. So much garbage time. And Derek Carr's a check down merchant.
And who else do they have left?
Nobody.
Rashid Shaheed's hurt.
They have Taysom.
Yeah,
that's it.
Even isn't Bub Means on IR too? Like, they literally
all their boys are there. I checked their injury report just to be interested. They have so many guys on IR and so many guys that did not practice this week. I mean, it's hate week. I'm super excited. Like, let's go hate week part 2. But yeah, it's bad. I would go for Kamara. Kamara's killing it.
The only thing I could think of is if you're getting into the playoffs, if it's a lock and you're there and you think CMC is going to be that guy, I am okay keeping CMC to maybe that late push. That's my only thoughts with 49ers being 4-4. They got it right. They're going to push from the playoffs. They're going to get their dudes. They're going to play hard to get there. So, and they'll get there, but it's not going to be just like they're not 8-0, right? So
yeah. And Alvin Kamara's the second highest scoring fantasy running back on the season.
Yeah, and they're 2-7. So for the next little bit, if you are worried about, it's like, I need points now, give me Kamara. If you think you can hold, maybe CMC. Just my thoughts. Strategy.
I got two more on the CD topic. So the next two, CD and J.K. Dobbins, who is the running back for the next 3 weeks, starting running back. No Gus Edwards, for Justin Jefferson straight up.
Yeah, give me JJ. I would make that trade.
Easy. Slam dunk.
Easy? Nice.
Easy.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, next one is CD and Algier for DJ Moore and Ken Walker.
Oh, I'm on that. I'm on that. Give me DJ Moore, Ken Walker train.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, and the only reason why I'm big on that, and again, this is that we just have so much data moving forward, and this is something that I would be excited about. I want to be excited about, and I want Matt to be excited about it. But unfortunately, Matt has watched Caleb Williams play football, and he's going to struggle to be excited. But the strength of schedule wise, the Bears have the easiest strength of schedule, point adjusted, for wide receivers the rest of the season. They're number one, the easiest schedule for wide receivers for the rest of the season. Now, they still have Caleb Williams throwing them the ball, which
to me, it's not Caleb. It's not the players. This is, to me, is a coaching thing.
Classic play caller.
100%. It's always the play caller. So,
always the play caller.
I don't think they have any. So we saw this in Seattle, right? They had no confidence in him there. I told Justin this stat just before the online, but Eberflus has his road record is 0. He's 0-13 on the road.
It's not good. They need to fire him and go get Ben Johnson. We've already said this.
I would love for them to get Ben Johnson. Like, go do it. Not right now. It's like, hey, we're just going to cut him. We're going to bring him over right now. But I agree with you, Chance. I like it. So the trade, my thoughts on the trade a little bit. If you have a good wide receiver, go ahead and make that trade. And you need a running back, I like that 100%. If you're solid in your running backs and you're just doing it for depth, I wouldn't do it. But if I would lean towards Chance a little bit. So I think it's great.
Okay, the next polarizing player, I think, and I mentioned this to Matt last night, is Breece Hall for me. I don't know what my expectations are for him anymore. Like, I do think he is a top 5 talented guy in the league. The Jets are they're just not good at football decisions. That's just how I feel about it. I've been trying to get off Garrett Wilson, and nobody wants to take him, even though he's had 2 really good games. I don't want anybody on this offense. I just don't know what's going on. But anyways, we're going to talk Breece Hall here. Okay, so I'm curious to see what Chance says because one of his guys in this trade. So Breece Hall, again, this is just a standard 10-team league, 1 PPR, 1 quarterback league. So Breece Hall for Joe Burrow and James Cook.
I think I'm a Joe Burrow, James Cook side of that, and I love Breece. And again, this, like I said, I'll push I'll push my agenda the entire time. RB's number 1 easiest schedule, fantasy adjusted points moving forward. Breece Hall to me is a great trade for target based on his schedule, but he's still on the Jets. You know what I mean?
Yes,
that's the hard part. The schedule says, hey, he should be really good. The team says, hey, we don't know. Like,
they just don't know what they have. That's what it feels like. Like, he's good at football. Is he though? Like, the Jets are like, is he good at football though? I don't know. But like, the league's like, yeah, he's good at football. I don't know.
I think I love Breece Hall. The thing I think it keeps them a little bit. Their record 3-6. They got to keep winning. I understand that. And Breece Hall's built different. We know, everybody knows that. That's not a thing. It's Braylon Allen. It feels like they want to keep Braylon Allen involved a little bit. It's not a true split, but they're like, hey, they gave him a goal line carry not that long ago. And it's like, and Breece Hall absolutely can be that workhorse, but he had an ACL tear a few years ago, and they want to extend his life a little bit. If Braylon Allen wasn't there, they just feed him the whole stinking time. That's how I feel. It's like, here you go. But you bring in Adams. Rodgers loves him. I still want to trade for Brees Hall because I believe in him, but it's tough right now.
I think you could trade for him in Dynasty. I think that's a fair trade candidate in
Yeah.
Dynasty if that's what you want to do. But that's just kind of my thoughts on it.
Marcus added to just kind of what he's got for his thing. He says, "Yeah, I got Burrow, CMC, A-Chain, Brees Hall, AJ Brown, Hill, Nico, and somehow I'm 4-5, 10-man league." Yeah, I get it. So the injury bug caught you a little bit, would be my guess.
Yeah.
And Burrow playing pretty flat early on. I totally see it. You just got to make the playoffs, my guy.
How did he
You
get
just
those three
got to
running
make the
backs?
playoffs.
How does he do that? Because CMC's the one. Brees Hall should go in the first round. A-Chan was going in the second. What? And AJ, what? And he got AJ in it. What is going on this? How do you get
There's
these?
some other guys that people wanted. I mean, it's 10-man league, so at the turn.
We all know those home leagues where somebody goes out and drafts Aaron Rodgers in the first round.
They drafted
No, it
kickers.
was
or something.
Mahomes. I drafted Mahomes. Maybe 2 quarterbacks went in the first round. Be my
All right.
guess.
Anyways, let's
I love
get
it, Marcus.
back on track here. Okay, so the
You're
next
looking
one.
good, Marcus. You're looking good, man. You're looking good.
Yeah,
Next one is a big
hold that. Just hold that.
So this is so Matt talked about him earlier. So Lad. So this is Lad, Brees, and A-Chan as one couplet for Kelsey, Justin Jefferson, and Ramondre. So it's Lad, Brees, Devon A-Chan for Travis, Justin, and Ramondre.
Hmm.
Which side do you take it on that one?
Matt, you want to take this one first?
What was the first 3 again?
Lad, Brees, A-Chan for Kelsey, Justin Jefferson, and Ramondre.
No, I won't. Give me Brees and Achan.
Same.
I think so. I think so too. I think
I'm on the
Ramondre
Brees
Stevenson
A-Chan.
is such fool's gold. He is so touchdown dependent. It is nuts. Like
And
I don't know how he keeps scoring touchdowns.
I mean, what is Travis Kelsey? I mean, we have what he was at the beginning of the season. We have
He
a
had
couple
one
good
good game.
games out of him. But like,
It's better.
is that going to stay? It looked like D-Hop was like Patrick Mahomes is so happy to have DeAndre Hopkins.
I would.
I think it opens it up. Like D Hop opens it a lot for Travis Kelsey. Like someone made the analogy is like, D Hop is the Travis Kelsey of wide receivers. Like he doesn't run routes. He just runs the space. It gets open. They're scary, man. They're scary with D Hop. That's a scary situation. When he posted that picture of like Randy Moss and Tom Brady, I was like, oh no, this is not.
So
He does not look
I would-
washed, man. He did not look washed in that game.
No.
I'm going to add to that a little bit. Now that you can't double Kelsey and you can't double D Hop, if you do, the player that we haven't talked about is Xavier Worthy. You're just going to get him some space and let him go, right? I think that opens it up for him a little bit. You're right. That team is going to be scary.
They're a
And
scary team.
Everybody in America, except for the KC fans, was wanting Tampa to win that game. Can we just stop right now? It's like
Not me. Tampa needed to lose that game.
Oh my gosh.
no. Everybody. Okay, everybody but
okay,
Justin.
we know who Justin
Jeez.
voted for in the election now.
Exactly.
Woo!
Here we go.
Kirk Cousins, baby. Kirktober.
Fun stuff.
Heck
Fun
yeah.
stuff.
All right, here's my next two.
Okay,
Oh.
you got it.
So we got Jaden Reed, Brees for DJ Moore and Jameer Gibbs.
I'm DJ
I
Moore
already
I'm
beat you.
DJ
So-
Moore
Easy.
Gibbs.
Easy.
Okay.
I love Gibbs. He just give me some Gibbs. That offense and what they're doing in Detroit is really, really good.
Okay, so 2 for 1 here. Then I think this is going to be an easy answer. Shakir and Brees for Jameer Gibbs.
I'd go.
Okay, you already know my answer.
I'd get Gibbs.
Yes, I want Gibbs.
That's what I thought.
I want Gibbs.
Sweet.
Fun stuff. I think just kind of transitioning here. I'm going to start with you, Justin. Give me a guy. I want to start with the guys we would trade away right now. Give me a guy that we'll go through it and we'll just have a discussion on it. Give me a guy that's on a roster that you need to trade away that will help your team. Right, I got to get rid of this guy so I can get somebody. But who are you trading away?
Sheesh. I'm just looking at like end of season rankings. This is tough.
That's why I wanted to bring it up.
I don't want to say Chris McCaffrey because I've already crapped on him enough today.
Yes, you have.
I've done enough on it. I think Chase Brown is a guy. Like they have a pretty strong strength of schedule coming up. Khalil Herbert's a guy that they went out and got. Chase Brown just went off 2 touchdowns, I believe. I think he's a guy we've been praying on DeAndre Swift's downfall. I think those are 2 guys, 2 running backs at least, that I would be okay with trading away pretty fast. I'm okay with it. So
fair enough. Chance, who's a guy that you need or telling people you got to trade him away?
I think I trade away Travis Etienne. I think Travis Etienne is a guy for me that still holds enough name value as an RB1 on a team that still feels froggy. Like I think Etienne, despite some of his struggles, he still holds value as a fantasy player. They have a really tough end of season schedule for running backs. They're 29th. They're ranked 29th for their future strength of schedule. I think Etienne, you could trade him away and go get players that would still be really good. They could still really contribute. I would also, that's tough. I probably want to say Josh Downs because I think you could get a lot for Josh Downs right now. And I know Joe Flacco's good. I just don't know if I trust Joe Flacco to be so tunnel visioned to just feed Josh Downs like crazy when they paid Michael Pittman and they drafted Adonai. Like they have dudes on that team. And I think Josh Downs he's a player that, again, you got him off the waiver or you drafted him late and you could go flip him for a guy that has a favorable end of season schedule or a guy that is maybe down a little or package him to go get a league changing player.
what about Marvin Harrison in the same kind of, it feels kind of the same. How do you feel about Marvin Harrison the rest of the year?
I would be down on Marvin Harrison if the Cardinals weren't. Are they leading the West right now?
Yep, 5-4.
Like, they're their division leader. They're in it, and I think that it feels like they're figuring it out, and it feels like they're starting to get going with it. I would trade Marvin Harrison for Malik Neighbors if I could get that done right now. I mean, I feel like people might be down on Malik after, the last couple of weeks, but I'm a hold or a buy on Marvin Harrison Jr.
Would you rather have Marvin Harrison or CeeDee Lamb?
Marvin Harrison.
Wow, really? That's a bold.
I think I'd take Lamb there, but that's just me.
I don't know. I don't know if CD is Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, quarterback proof. Do I know CD is quarterback? Do I think
yet.
Cooper Rush is good? No.
He's decent. He's decent enough.
He is decent enough.
Yeah. The thing about Marvin Harrison, I think you have to understand, he had a horrible last week. I know because I have him in 2 leagues and he didn't do anything for me and kind of cost me in one of my leagues. I mean, I can blame it on him because it's not a lot of points, but that Bears game script was just the Bears laid an egg. They didn't need him. It was literally we don't need to throw. We're going to run the ball. I mean, I think 3 different Trey McBride had a rushing touchdown. Benson had a touchdown. So it was like, we don't even need to throw here. So
what about?
I'm okay keeping him.
What about Marvin or Tyreek?
I lean Tyreek there.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to go Tyreek. Yeah, you got to go Tyreek. A guy that I think you have to sell right now, and now's a perfect opportunity, is JSN. JSN had a huge game, but his schedule coming up gets kind of tough. What do you have, like 7 receptions for 180, two TDs. It was by far his best year. That's only his third touchdown.
The Rose Bowl all over again. That's what it looked like.
Yeah. So they're on a bye this week, and here's the schedule: San Francisco, Arizona, New York Jets, Arizona again, Green Bay. He gets a softball in Minnesota in week 16 and Chicago in week 17. All very tough pass defenses. I think now's the time to trade him, get him off of your team right now. I really do think you could get him maybe at the top part at Devontae Smith for him. And I'd much rather have Devontae Smith on my team than JSN. So maybe you could sneak out a Zay Flowers if you wanted to. Maybe. Maybe you can get a Jaden Reed, which I'd like his floor a little bit better than JSN. So some of the guys that I'd go after for sure.
I'm just curious with that schedule for the Seattle Seahawks, asking for a friend. Okay, would you also be shopping DK? Justin, what are you laughing at? Why is that funny to you?
It just is. I know you how much ownership you have in DK.
I'm asking for a friend.
Man, I would say this, Chance. I think it's more his injury. If he can stay healthy, I would say no, because I think those game scripts are probably throwing a lot.
Yeah.
And he's the guy. I just can't. I don't know. I mean, it seems like I would say no, but it is a tough schedule.
It's a tough schedule.
Yeah, that is tough. I don't trade DK. That's just me. He's good. He's a good player, man.
Yeah.
And we've seen it over and over. So, all right, those are guys that we would get rid of. I want a guy that you're chasing, that you're like, hey, how can I get this guy on my team? I need to get him on my team with some value. Justin, who is your guy?
I have some guys, but I don't know if you'll be able to get them. I think Mooney's a guy. I think you can go get him right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if you can. I don't know
perception.
I don't know what the perception is around him. He's just freaking good. He's just good at football. I'm glad he escaped what he was in purgatory in Chicago. Like, he has been a godsend for our offense. He is really good at what he does. Drake London's got a hit pointer. I think Mooney's been the one, even though he's probably not viewed as that. Drake London just gets more touchdowns. Some other guys, if you can't get Gibbs, it's just an impossible task. Like, he's an untouchable.
Love to get Gibbs.
They have, like, just go get David Montgomery. Maybe people want to get off of him. He super consistent. Like, he's just a good player. There've been two other guys that Matt just talked about. I think if you can, especially maybe deeper leagues, Trey Benson and James Conner are two guys that have really easy strength of schedules to end the season. I feel like James Conner is, like, we talked about this at the beginning of the season. Like, he always gets injured. Like, he's already questionable this week. Maybe Trey Benson is that late guy that kind of pops up. Like, he had a touchdown, like Matt alluded to. In deeper leagues, maybe he's on the waivers, but I think James Conner still do. They have a really easy end of the season schedule to go against as well. So,
Chance.
Yeah, so I'm just going to give you guys. I'm going to give you guys the 4 teams that have the easiest running back schedule moving forward. Okay, so these are the top 4 teams as far as fantasy points allowed to the position on the teams they face. The number 1 easiest strength of schedule moving forward is the Jets, then the Giants, then the Bucks, and then the Vikings. Okay, and I think getting Breece Hall would be tough, but I think you could really find some value trading for. I mentioned Tyrone Tracy, right? I think there's value in trading for Tyrone Tracy. I think there's a ton of value trading for Rachaad White right now. I mean, even when Mike Evans comes back, they're still missing Godwin. And I think that Baker, they're going to want to stay competitive. He has such an easy schedule as a running back, but also he catches balls out of the backfield. What made him valuable last year is what's going to make him valuable this year. And then sneaky. I think Aaron Jones is still good, and he's on a really good offense. And I know Justin Jefferson, like, they're going to move the ball down the field with Justin Jefferson. I feel like Aaron Jones could be a guy that you could add. And again, my assumption is that his value to his manager is that he's good, but you could throw a bigger name out there and maybe pry him away from that manager.
I agree. I agree. Go ahead.
Just to go off Chance's point, like, I feel like a lot of people are probably a little scared to go for White and maybe trying to get off of him, because I feel like Bucky Irving has looked better, but Rachaad White is still owning that backfield. It's still like a 60-40 split, sometimes a 70-40 split. So he's still getting a lot of touches.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Agreed. I'm going to throw some names, but it's not my guy. I'm going to save my guy to the end. But Chance alluded to this guy earlier. Neighbors, I think you can go find a frustrated guy who's good. They have a very good end of season schedule.
Love that.
I had a couple others here. I like either Bears. I think you can get a Dunze cheap, and I think you can get DJ Moore cheap. and their strength of schedule is also very, very good moving down the middle of the stretch. And I'm going to give Chance credit for saying that earlier. A guy that I think you can go get, and it's been interesting, and he's maybe a little underneath the radar unless this owner has him, but I'm kind of thinking that a guy can get you some more wins dirt cheap is Ladd McConkey. Quietly, the Chargers have been throwing the ball a lot more these last few games, and he's been getting targets. He's gotten as many as 6 targets. He did have that 6 catches for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns against New Orleans. He still had 5 catches for 64 yards against Cleveland, and his schedule is not terrible, and his playoff schedule is actually pretty good. So I think you can get him pretty cheap and not have to spend a ton on it, and he could be your wide receiver 3, maybe a 2. 2 might be pushing it, but certainly your flex guy and upgrading for something you might have. So keep an eye on him, but I certainly like him.
I got a quick question for both of you because this is 2 of your guys. JSN or Tyrone Tracy? Who would you rather have?
Oh,
Tyrone Tracy.
Okay.
And I think for me, when it comes to this point in the season, I feel like wide receivers always win you games. Running backs win you leagues. Right?
100%.
Like by the time we get to the end of the year, like you're picking up and starting a Cedric Tillman, or like how many wide receivers become relevant at the end of the year because teams are just throwing the ball? That's harder to find in the running back room. It's so much harder to find productive running backs at the end of the season. So that's my target is I want to make sure I go get running backs that I know are going to score for me, because I can pick up Joe Bill off the waiver wire with a high floor much easier than I can a running back.
And we talked about this a little bit last night and the week before, but I went and picked up Dowdle, who was on waivers. He's a guy that's been consistent. We talked about it earlier in the year, man. Dowdle could be a guy that gets you some. He's going to be the running back, but he could get you enough points to win some games. So you just never know. If he's volume is king.
For sure.
I'm just kind of looking, seeing who else I had on some of these other teams I had, but another guy that you might want to, especially in Dynasty, but Chance brought him up a couple weeks, or maybe last week, but was Jalen against Coker. I think it's how you say his name.
Yep.
But
Jalen Coker.
I did see Steve Smith today released a YouTube clip on him saying this guy's route running is very, very impressive. And now you know why they traded away some of their guys. They like him a lot. So in a Dynasty
for robbery.
Yeah, for
Rob
peanuts, but yeah, he's a guy that in Dynasty you can surely get. So Brian jumped on he's got a great question here. Would you trade A-Chain and Tyrone Tracy for Bijan and Brian Robinson Jr.?
Yes.
Do it right now. Do that right now.
Right now, you hit it. Right, do it live right now. If that's on your table, do it right now. And I'm right. You are getting Bijan, right? I'm assuming Brian. Yes, you go get Bijan.
Bijan has been so consistent, and he has such a high floor. They just keep throwing the ball, and they have a very easy end of schedule. Like, and Brian Robinson, I think is Chance's guy. He's been really, really underrated. Been a really good back. A-Chan's going to be super volatile. I think Tyrone Tracy can be the same as Brian Robinson, kind of maybe a better Austin Eckler, like maybe kind of close to that as we're going. But man, Bijan and Brian Robinson on it. Those are both really good. Those are both really good offenses. I
don't know if that offer was sent to you, Brian, or if you're sending it out. But if you're sending it out and they are saying no, I would also sprinkle in something else. It's something small, but if you need a third player to get that done, I would do it.
Yeah, give the people what they want for that, for sure.
Yes. So hopefully that's helpful. Great question. I love it. Love when people come in and ask questions, fantasy football related. We're here to help you, help serve you.
I have just a trade question, and we talk about Jahmyr Gibbs as like an untouchable fantasy asset. I want to talk about a running back who has the second hardest strength of schedule remaining. His next set of opponents include because I don't want to give it away, includes Pittsburgh, the Chargers, the Eagles, and the Browns. Okay, so some pretty good defenses. It's Derrick Henry. Okay, second hardest
I
strength
knew
of
you were
schedule.
going to say that. I knew you were going to say him.
And I'm just curious if you guys, as of right now, if you have Derrick Henry, if he's in the same class as Jahmyr Gibbs, where he feels like an untouchable, or is he a guy that you say, you know, I'm looking at like, I feel like there's no way you would trade him unless you got a great offer. But could you package Derrick Henry with somebody to go get Gibbs?
I think you could trade him straight up. I mean, I think the three best guys right now are probably him, Gibbs, and Bijan. Just from a.
Well, Barkley's up there though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Barkley. Sorry, Barkley.
I no offense to your boy Bijan, but I feel like Barkley slips into that third spot over Bijan just because he's been so stupid.
So good. I think you guys said it, like running backs are just hard. Like if you have a stud running back like one of those 4 men, like you're just like, nope, I'm not gonna get off of him. Sorry, like, this is the guy. It's just like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase has been kind of hit or miss, but like I don't know if you could trade for any of those 4. And I don't feel like anybody's like, hey, let's just trade Derrick Henry for Saquon or Derrick Henry for Jahmyr Gibbs. They're just like, no, I'm gonna ride my guy. This is my guy that's got me here. So I just don't think you'll see trades like that. That's just me though.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can trade him away. Denver's got a very good defense.
Yeah,
and he put up, dude. He 2 rushing touchdowns, 106, 1 catch for 27 yards. That's tough. The only one that I just don't think you can. I think you got to hold.
And like I said, I'm not saying I would trade him if I had him, but just the nerd in me looking at strength of schedule stuff, they are number 2. The second hardest strength of schedule moving forward. So just curious.
Brian, they offered it to me, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going crazy. It was that good. Yes, smash
Brian,
it. Yes,
smash the accept, and then
right now,
and then comment back on this video that you won the trade deadline. And we'll crown you as trade deadline winner.
Are you trading?
Yeah,
is Jerry Jones in your league? Is that what's going on? Like what's that? Like
you're crushing that trade, Brian, for sure. Easy. You are at least for 208 football. You are the, as Chance said, you are the champion on the waiver or the trade deadline king. So that's pretty cool. I was going to ask you two about Chuba Hubbard, who has been pretty decent. Right, we talked about him a little bit earlier in the broadcast. Brooks is kind of sitting on the sideline waiting, but Hubbard's been so good. Do you think he is a trade candidate? Because they are. I don't remember their record. I'm sure it's not very good off the top of my head.
They're 2-7.
Yeah.
Maybe 3-6. They used to beat the Saints.
2-7 or 2-6.
I gotta look him up real fast.
I feel like for me, I would sell high on Chuba. They've had coming into this week, they had a top 10 easiest schedule. Moving forward, they have a top 11 easiest schedule. So they're set up to run the ball. I just don't know what. I don't know what Jonathan Brooks is going to be. And I love Jonathan Brooks in college. He was awesome.
Their next 4 games are the Giants, a bye, Kansas City, Tampa, Philly. All those defenses are pretty good. Giants probably have arguably the best interior guy in the league right now with Dexter Lawrence. KC is KC. Tampa's been playing really good. They got Vita Vea, who's a stud, and Philly's a lot better run-wise than they are pass-wise. So I don't love trading for him. Trading him away, yeah, I agree with that.
No, I'm just trying to say trade him away, and I'm looking for a playoff contender that might need somebody. It's probably still in the same division, in the NFC, but somebody like the Commanders, right? I know they got Brian Robinson Jr., but then you got him behind. It's a little bit uptick from old man Eckler. But I mean, right? I mean, I think Justin, you made sense. The Cowboys make a lot of sense. But if I'm the Panthers, why not? You're 2-7. Why not make the trade to get some capital in the upcoming draft?
Oh, you're saying
right?
in real life.
Like trade in real life.
The trade
I'm talking real world.
Yeah, the
deadline was
already
yesterday.
passed.
Yeah.
No, it was
trade.
yesterday. Yeah, shoot.
Yeah.
I thought
I know
you're right.
You were
You're right.
distracted by that other thing going on.
I was. Yeah, the other thing. But it would make sense to trade him away, I would think, for sure.
I totally agree.
They missed it.
Him or Miles Sanders. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Chance mentioned ETN. I think he should have got traded. I don't understand. Like, the Cowboys didn't go after somebody, but like they probably just think they're out of it. Dak already said on the sideline during the Falcons game, like, F it, we suck. Like, he was pretty over it. So you always want these teams to like do fantasy football for real life, and it just never happens. Like, why not get off a running back? Like, why not trade a running back that you? Maybe they're just scared to use Jonathan Brooks. Maybe they don't want to break their shiny new toy. They're 2-7. What do they have to play for? That's the only thing that scares me with Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, but the Panthers will have what? I'm guessing they're going to have a top 10 pick. They didn't trade away their 2025, right?
Unless the Bears just got another one from them.
Yeah, keep sending them to the Bears. We could use them. It's not like we're winning. So
It'll be interesting to see if they draft a quarterback. But draft season, we'll get to draft season when we get to draft season.
yeah.
That'll be some draft season. Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, we're a little over an hour. We're into week 10. I thought we were going to go a little shorter tonight, but we had some great questions come in and a really, really good discussion. Wishing everybody luck on their week 10 starting tomorrow. And I believe tomorrow is, I'm just going to look real quick.
Thursday night.
Bengals, Ravens. Yep.
Bengals, Ravens, baby.
We hope that's a good game, like I said.
Eyes of Derrick Henry. You heard it first. Chance said it. He said Derrick Henry sucks. So just beware. Trade him away now.
Yikes.
Anything happen on Thursday night games. So
Yeah. Just watch out. Keaton Mitchell's going to come take that job.
Let's call, baby. Keaton Mitchell.
It's coming. It's coming back around.
Justice Hill, baby. Justice Hill.
Chance, Justin, any last words before we sign off and get out of here for the evening?
Just my guillotine league, just like it was. I can't watch football with that league. It's just really, really hard. So I was up by 60 points. They had Travis Kelce and somebody else, Xavier Worthy. So Xavier Worthy had -1 point, which was awesome. Travis Kelce. If you guys watched that game, he caught a ball right on like the 5-yard line, and if he scored, I was done in that league.
Oof.
And thank goodness he got tackled, and they ran it in, and I won by like 1.7 points. So I'm still going. There's only 8 teams left. It's getting down to the wire. Real stressed out. So it was very stressful to watch that game.
Fax dropped a question here. Good to see you, Fax. Thanks for hanging out with us. Do I drop Mostert, Alexander Madison, or Leggett?
This for me is an easy Leggett. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm dropping Xavier Leggett in this one.
There's
Matt,
a lot of
Leggett
other
too?
receivers. Yeah, I'm dropping Leggett in this one.
I'm Madison.
He's getting a lot of carries though. Other than if you're just depends on what you need. Mostert's going to be not much there. These are all flex guys, bench guys, right? And that's what we're talking about. So if I'm trying to pick up somebody, the first one I'm dropping is Leggett here, easy. The rest are getting some work.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
I hope that helps, Fax. Thanks for that's a great question. Thanks for tuning in. Chance, any last words from you before we get out of here for the evening?
Hey man, for all of you who are right on the verge of throwing in the towel for the season, I hope you go get that win this week. That gives you just a little bit of hope. I hope that if you are already out of contention, you can just go cause chaos. Go cause chaos in your fantasy leagues. But that's really all I got.
I love that's when you're down and out. Absolutely, I agree. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to be the chaos guy. I'm going to try to beat that guy that's in first place, or make a trade with somebody that I can maybe get a dude that really upset somebody else. You know, not throwing my team. That's not what I'm saying. But I'll never throw a team. But making a big trade sometimes is fun. The final words for me is, look, if my Bears lose the Patriots, I probably will stop becoming a Bears fan. So that's it. I'll be done. So
Hey, we got
let's cross our fingers.
We got the 208 Fantasy Football Bowl probably in 2 weeks. Chance Denver and Falcons. So that'll be a good game.
It's coming. It's coming.
I'm excited for that game in Denver. So
absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We will see you guys next week. Good luck on all your leagues this coming week. And be prepared to come with some questions next week. We love answering questions and helping you out win your league. Until next time, deuces. We'll see you guys later.